Not bad. How you doing?
It was pretty rotten yesterday and this morning. It was life, I guess.
Who's up today?
See,
Howdy.
Howdy.
the mysterious ghostly figure perhaps behind sea. Oh, wait a minute. That's your background. Yeah.
I'm still being a little skippy, so evidently it did not solve the problem. But that's okay. We can make through it.
Yep. It's all good. I see you've U-boated up on us.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys,
Howdy, Kay. How's it going?
Howdy.
getting ready for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get Wednesday night off, and they're already trying to talk me into working.
We made a joke about job security plenty of times already. So
I know what coming this time, so we'll get figured out.
I just wanted to say, hey, let y'all know I'm still alive and kicking, working, but kicking.
Okay.
well, hang in there.
Trying. See you later.
Doing a little bit of last minute mapping.
And peanuts, no doubt. The munchie.
I'm finishing off the last piece of that coconut pie.
Oh,
More than likely, that'll probably make us a short game because I'll be ready for a nap here in a little bit.
yeah. I'm there already.
Yeah, I got you. Or you get dipping into the leftovers too, I see. But that's okay. There's some interesting things happening tonight. They may go pretty quick.
Well, all right. Well, we'll see.
Like I said, I apologize. I apologize again for the intermittent issue.
That's not your fault.
It seems like it picks up mid-afternoon. It's weird. It is associated with bandwidth at some point.
That is your neighbors picking up their usage. Is a possibility. It's temperature changes.
Oh yeah,
Is a big part of it. It's a moose and squirrel. Who knows?
yeah. I'm not throwing a big demanding fit because I know we're chasing a variable.
Yeah.
90% of the time, it's functional. It's just when I'm doing a lot of uploading is when it goes bananas.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, it was the upload that you're having problems with.
Because the TV buffers enough that it doesn't interrupt a TV show stream. But if I'm on Stow and particularly if I'm on Stow and participating in a meeting at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hairy. Just like this is. We put on Roll20 in this, I start getting skippy again. And it picks up in frequency at prime time. When we get past 7 o'clock, it'll jump off words. So interesting. I'm just trying to learn symptoms to pass on to people and know what to do.
I think you've identified it as an upstream.
Yeah.
They just have to be willing to go far enough upstream. Look for sources of interference.
Mm,
Check the node, that sort of thing.
yeah.
They may actually know what it is. They're just not going to poke it.
Yeah. Logan's across the street entertaining his cousin. So he'll pop in here in a little bit and he'd get ready to come get a bath and go to bed. I have flat enjoyed these few days. I just wish Kay got a little more rest out of it.
Yeah, no kidding. Howdy, how's it going?
Greetings, going well.
All right.
So I missed the memo on the red shirt.
You secretly got... No, you're the DM. You don't have to have a Richard. It's the rest of us.
Because I reside in a place of evil.
Hmm.
Now, I did research a picture. It's an actual German U-boat, but just the only picture it gave me was a torpedo ring.
It goes well. I'm going to see the babies yesterday. They stayed for quite a while. We made cookies and played.
Cookies is a good way to keep them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ava helped me make the cookies, and Lilo helped eat them.
That's how Gamma's kept Logan over there the last 2 days.
These were big cookies, a quarter cup size dollops of dough. Big. I tried the same recipe, a different recipe, and I substituted the sugars out for fake sugars and stevia and such. And they didn't spread, they didn't puff up or anything. I need to go back through them and find some way to get liquid in there. Sugars are hydrophilic, and yeah.
Baking's never been my strong point.
You say get water in there, and I was thinking fire hose.
Probably cooking.
You make a really big cookie.
Man, we
Ooh. So how's it in your world?
Not bad. I was watching the latest 3 installments of Arcane. It's a pretty good show.
Hmm.
Even if you don't know anything about League of Legends like me, it's still a pretty good show.
Okay, I don't either, so might be something to check out then. No. I think the newest show that we've started watching was the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just watched the first 4 episodes yesterday. I actually bought a Prime account just for that.
Really?
Yeah.
I was trying to remember when I'd read that series. It was, 20 years ago or so. Long time.
Same, but I reread them all. Read, I say in quotes, because I listened to them on Audible like last year, all of them again.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it was a long time ago, though.
It's quite different in the actual the show from the book, but it's still good on its own. They've just made some different choices.
Yep.
Some I don't really like. I'm not going to fault them for it, since how are you going to fit 15 books into a series?
Ask One Piece.
One Piece has 900 and something episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they can afford 900 episodes of Wheel of Time.
Well, that was looking interesting. We'll see how it turns out.
Oh, how far are you?
The group has watched the first episode, but I'm most of the way through the 4th.
Ah, okay.
I was
So you're
needing something
caught
to
up,
occupy
basically.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a Weird War night.
It is a C's game, and as you can see, C has placed himself in the set for where most of the action is going to take place, I think.
I've got a little bit of a blurb to catch up with everybody else where they are. But it's not going to be a big combat night for everybody else. It's just going to be some old bleeps for Mr. Peg.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
That's actually an old reference to our Star Wars game days. When we did a lot of writing. We'd save a few old bleep moments for some reveals in the stories that we wrote. So that's the old bleep stuff. Because you read it and you go, oh bleep.
Well, crap. Well, the only problem is they don't fit size-wise on the map. So I have to draw pictures, I guess, tonight. But
Well, you can, if you have a picture or an icon, you can adjust that size.
the thing is, because of the squares, it's
Yeah.
if I contained ourselves to one end of the sub, we'd be fine. But I can't shrink it small enough to get it to stay on there. One dude winds up being the whole size of a 6-bunk room.
Section it off.
Yeah,
You make the sub bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, you can change the shape of the map too. Like the page you're on in Roll20, you can make it different dimensions.
Yeah,
If you want a really long one for the, sounds like a submarine.
yeah. I'm not, like I said, that's my whole problem. I'm not super advanced at Roll20. But I'm monkeying with it. I'll see what I can do. I still got a few minutes for everybody gets here. I can fudge it if I gotta.
If you read the Beverly Clearly books when you were kids, Lorna and Super Fudge books.
I have heard of them, but I've not read them.
I think my kids have. That's what it was. My kids have.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, Krista.
I needed to say hi and say bye.
Be careful.
All righty.
You darling.
Take care.
Well, this works a lot better with the mic turned on.
Hey,
I'm at a loss. He's still getting UCEs, but his numbers are good.
It is some improved, but it's still not kosher.
Roll 20 to adjust the actual size of the map. You go to the page toolbar,
Mm-hmm.
and when you hover over a map, it'll have this little thing where it'll have a little icon to make you copy,
Right.
delete, and then there's a gear. You click on the gear, and you can change.
I may have to monkey with it when we got a little more time. But it'll do for what we got to have tonight. I'm sure we'll be using this thing quite a bit. So this is a map I intend on reusing a little bit. Unless Peg blows it up right off the bat. He's threatening to.
Well, the Germans had more than one U-boat.
Mm-hmm.
Make that a running joke. Oh, we need another U-boat.
All right, 3D10. There's your numbers now. It's okay. We got a nice submarine map. It's just not populated. I'm hoping Mr. Peg survived his hosting. I did see a little video on Facebook of his daughter, and I'm still enjoying my Thanksgiving. With the exception of breakfast, I've been eating it for 3 days.
My question about when you pointed something out to Kay that indicated that you had gone offline. What was that? Just out of curiosity.
Just on the screen, if I wasn't depending on somebody talking and stopping, we've got that little online, offline indicator down there next to the clock and the date and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It actually flips on, flips off, and gives me a fairly accurate real time as to when I'm on, when I'm off. It has a little bit of a lag to it, but not much.
That's interesting.
Because it actually tells me I'm offline, and then boop, you're right back. But like I said, I run several seconds, and they'll run 3 to 7 seconds, maybe 10 seconds offline, and they'll come back. It's quite odd in its regularity. Now, as you see, it hasn't done it in 3 or 4 sentences now, but it'll get a rash of it where it all happen at once, where it just nothing. It's just everything is a garbled mess. When I see the icon jump up, I'll stop and I'll resume my sentence where I was when I get it back, hoping everybody can actually hear what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. That explains another question that I had about all this. It's you're not buffering on your end. You're actually self-regulating.
Right. Because I imagine sometime, just if I'm getting a direct feed, it may have enough buffering going on. You may still hear me talking while I'm showing I'm offline, but I'm buffering myself. If it goes for an extended amount of time, everybody's video drops out and I just get their icons, but then it comes back right back up. I've been watching this for 2 weeks. I'm starting to get a pattern, but it is much improved over where we were. What the technician did do, improve things. It just hasn't solved it. I suppose I could work with you guys first while we're waiting on Mr. Peg to arrive. The battle scene where you guys were, or you came on the truck, and the obvious mage battle that had happened. You guys had discovered that, yes, some magics had been used, and seems that as you mopped up the soldiers, you did learn that it looks like some of them did escape magically. Just no idea of numbers. Didn't look like a whole lot due to tracking signals. Wasn't a whole lot of people moving through the woods. But what it did is it allowed the other truck's trail to go a little bit cold. So you're just following the road. You will have to pardon Coda. She's caterwauling, getting in the heat in there. So you hear a siren every once in a while. Through the night, towards daybreak, you guys actually come up on a little village, probably about ready for some sort of sustenance and maybe some clues. You guys want to stop anywhere in town or anything?
It's up to them. As I recall, this one was sleeping off being a tiger.
Yeah. Well, by morning, you probably have gotten over it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, we're talking daybreak. It's just dawning. All right. So you guys come up on a little tavern, lights spill out in the street, and it's just a little village. There's equal activity between people and chickens crossing the street.
And IHOP, it is not.
Say again, Stephen?
It's not an IHOP.
No, not an IHOP. Ah, Mr. Peg's in roll 20.
Evening.
All right. How art thou?
I'm doing all right.
There we go. I was catching up with everyone else before we got into Baltimore's plight. I'm still having issues, so I'll be a little garbled, but sing out if you need me to repeat anything. So, all right, you guys come up on this little tavern, and Laura parks the truck, gets out and rouses Sean. And the smell of eggs and bacon is wonderful. Let me actually get into it so I can change maps. Aren't many folks in here. There's a barkeep. She's over taking orders and everything. There's just this one couple at this table. And there's one patron just sitting quietly at the end of the bar. Nobody's really paying him any mind. And I'm sorry I couldn't get a line of chairs. Huh?
Makes his way up to the end bar and places an order after greetings.
All right. And she busies herself with preparing your meal. You guys sit at the bar or you move out to a table?
I was going to sit at that table next to a fire.
There you go. The patron there at the end of the bar, as you guys finish your order and head off to the table, glances at you and says, "You're really not from around here, are you?" And Laura tips her hat and says, "We're just passing through." He nods, takes another sip of coffee, and he just says, "There were some other people passing through in a truck like that last night. You guys wouldn't be following them, would you?" Oh. So I said, "Yeah, we saw some trucks that go through here like that last night."
What time?
It was before sunset. They didn't stop. One of them leaned out the window. It was fairly rude, but we could tell something was weird going on and not one to pry. We don't necessarily want strange things here. You know, if we can help you, we will, but if you're associated with that crowd, you can just move along after breakfast.
I'm lost.
Should be refugees on that truck.
Sean hasn't said anything. I'm doing I'm helping the frail old guy since he asked. Are we following them? Yes. Are we part of them? No. Do you know where they went?
We're taking the road toward the coast, is about all I can tell you.
And he said they were rude.
Most Germans I've met in my lifetime are.
Mhm.
It's just the way they sound. It's just the language.
I see. Okay, to the coast it is.
It's fairly rude.
After we get our breakfast and hustle out of here.
Said the port's about another day's drive up that road. If you hustle, you might be able to catch them by nightfall.
And there will be much hustling.
That's where most people going up that road are going, taking goods of some sort. Yeah. Heading that way. Been plenty of activity going that way. Most of it's breaking down the airfield, hauling off all the aircraft support equipment. Evidently, the Luftwaffe was bugging out.
Oh, really? File that one away.
But like I said, lots of German equipment has been traveling up this road. Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say. But I wish you well. And with that, he drains his cup and leaves it on the hearth there near to the table where he'd followed you. And then he just wanders off into the back. The barmaid wanders over and notices the cup, makes a face, and snatches it up and goes back to the bar to clean it.
Do you normally leave his cups just lying around?
Who?
The guy that left it that there.
What guy?
Great. Pardon me. The back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Does this peek in the back? I'm sure he's not there. Anything
he
else
went-
of a portal?
Let's see. Oh, I'm looking at your map. Oh, wait, that's why it ain't working.
Mhm.
You do that to me all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because he had gone this way.
All right.
Through this door.
I'll just take a peek.
Nothing.
Where does that lead?
Goes
Okay.
down to the storeroom below.
All right. I'm not going to go.
It's like some sort of little meeting room of some sort.
Yeah, I'm not going to prowl around. Yeah. I think I get who that might have been. Okay. With all due haste, eat your meal. Let's go.
Yeah. She brings a meal and she goes, "Well, if you did see somebody, that others will come in and get greeted and information from the resident ghost, old Jose. but there was nobody here. It's just the Bob and Janet over there.
Old Jose.
He got killed in the First World War. War ended, but before he shipped out, he was at that seat every morning.
It looks like old Jose is looking after you still.
Now, he may know more about what's going on than any of us. Most of his stuff checks out. I guess it's nice to have somebody on the other side keeping watch. Just as long as you don't scare the customers away. She shrugs and goes back to washing dishes.
I think you got permission to snoop.
All right, that give you guys a little bit of a breadcrumb to put you on the proper path to continue your pursuit. All right. Meanwhile, Mr. Baltimore finds himself on this here submarine. How's it going to show up? Should be at the top of the map somewhere. There it is. I'm having trouble scaling people, so we're just going to look at the map. Everybody's the size of the entire room. I can't get them to resize. They keep springing back to their standard size.
The trick I found is if you get rid of the actual grid, it stops messing with that.
Yeah,
Because your player tokens are by the grid.
Yeah, I tried to monkey with it, but in a hurry, I couldn't get it done. So we're just going to get by with sending pictures, sending paintings.
You're good.
We're going to use this map quite a bit, so I'll master it before we get done. So, all right. Point being is they've had you forward up here in this area, giving you a bunk and the whole bit, and you're not being crowded out. Him just turns his nose up every time he sees you. So, like I said, you're up in this forward area.
And do they allow me to walk around on this U-boat, or am I just, if I go to leave that bunk area, is there a guy with his hand going, "Oh"?
It started out that way, but after you had dinner with the major last night, restrictions have been lessened a little bit, but somebody travels with you to make sure you don't pull the wrong lever and sink us. Along on the surface ever since you left Gibraltar.
Walk around. I try not to get in the way. I'm not going to stay. Yeah, but I'm not going to stay sequestered to just the bunk. I'll walk around until someone says, "Hey, you can't be in here."
Yeah, they won't let you go toward the engines or the torpedo room or anything. They'll let you up here on the bridge.
I will say this: occasionally he will go out the porthole or the top porthole and smoke.
Yeah, like I said, they got a hatch open. They're letting the ship breathe.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. He'll be up top smoking.
So like I said, if you go up to the tower, that's where the major is. Ah, Herr Baltimore. Good morning. Guten Morgen.
He'll be like Guten Tag. He'll light up a cigar and he'll take a draft of it and go, "Lovely weather."
Yeah, I imagine you're not one accustomed to the light.
No, especially not in this eye.
Salt air may do you some good.
He chuckles at that and goes, "Maybe." But I doubt anyone would want to see what's underneath this patch.
You can spare me that. Good news is we won't have to churn for much longer. We should meet our destination by evening.
Baltimore's actually excited about that because he doesn't like being cooped up. He'll actually be able to stretch his legs soon, so he's excited about that.
Well, you will, being a man of your stature, you will understand it's too common people-y down there.
When he says that, he will pause for seconds. Do you mean below deck or on land?
No, I'm afraid we've been having to deal with the unwashed one way or the other.
Baltimore will chuckle at that.
And the Major reaches in his pocket and pulls out an apple and a pocket knife and starts quartering it. And offers you a quarter.
And I accept it and I thank him for it. Baltimore will kind of make the comment, "You can't imagine how hard it is to get fresh fruit on one of these."
That's one thing of my stature. Our position within the Reich is, as long as we produce,
Get results, get more perks.
Precisely. Noble men of a noble race. We endeavor you to maintain our heirs. We are the representative of the race.
Baltimore kind of struck his ego on that line. He'll say, if you're the first representative I've met, then I'm in good company then.
That I can appreciate. Now, there's so many, but the reconstruction we've allowed ourselves, we may yet rise to be a world power.
And, Baltimore's just going to keep stroking his ego.
Oh, yeah. Command has it keeps me employed. But I'm just a gatherer of things. What they do with it, this is up to them. I lose sight of it. I just deliver it like a truck driver. But he pats the railing. He says, they have given me a fine truck.
And Baltimore will literally nod and go, a fine truck it is indeed.
Modern design.
And he'll end it there. If the major doesn't give him free information, he'll be like,
So there's just hard to imagine the thought processes of the mind that brought us Captain Nemo to get to this.
Well, and another thing, Baltimore's kind of playing the hard to get.
Oh, yeah. He's relaxed a little bit because he thinks Baltimore is on board. And so he's, like I said, he's relaxed the guards on you. He's let you move around, even though he's assigned you a liaison.
No, he won't do anything to make him think any different.
Soon, this will be at an end. We can move on to the next acquisition. I think once we have our meeting with the bishop, we shall be relieved of this and move on to more tangible items.
Baltimore doesn't try and give away any surprise, but when he hears Bishop, that really, Bishop?
Have you not noticed that levels, all of us, any human being is attuned to the earth if they only clear their minds and pay attention? The energies around them, the warming of the sun on your face, the sensation of this breeze, the tang of the salt. These are all energies, even such mundane sensation just from nature. But then you go further. Gypsies manipulate nature, but then you move into those who have attunement to the gods. These things were explained through these dogmas throughout time to explain how these energies interact with you. These are the magics that we see. Those who are attuned to the natural world are the charlatans found on any street corner. But those who can hold up to the magics of God, they are a formidable enemy or a useful weapon. But there's not been a scientific means of locating them, processing them, grading them. There, Schmidt is working on such things. My job is just to bring him subjects.
He
Just spent a year culling Spaniards to fight them. This whole war we just fought here was about. We've employed agents throughout Asia to round up some of these that you've heard of, but even he's power mad, can't be trusted of his own. once he realizes that Peking is not his oyster. You know, it's a very long grading process. One, thankfully, I'm not involved with. Trucker.
When he's done, Baltimore is so smug against the guard. He really is thinking. And he goes, "So you're looking for something stronger than just your normal fortune teller?"
Oh, absolutely. Those have not much use to us. We have nature magicians who are on the front line in most every company. It's those that are on a tactical end that every nation. Surely, with your travels, you've been acquainted with the mages of both Britain and the United States.
Yes, I have met the British mages through
We're
experience.
aware of them.
Yeah, through experiences in the last Great War, which is what sent me on my globe-trotting affairs.
Much respect for that. But ear to the crowd. He makes his mumblings. They don't listen to him. They don't tap the potential he could even produce for them. But he has no army. All he does is set magical defenses and mumble shit in corners, of the great halls. He's no threat. He commands no threat. He himself may be formidable, but he commands no threat. If they ever realize this, we need to be prepared against that. So we're trying to bolster our defenses. The whole world's been down on us since that craziness with Wilhelm began.
When
The
he's
Allied
done,
world.
Baltimore kind of strokes his ego and goes, "You have nothing to worry about from the crown. They're focusing inward, trying to keep the bloodline secure. That's why I went to do things on my own, because I would not get the crown's support, or the wizard's support. I never met the mages of America, but I will tell you, entropy is the king in America."
They have no cohesion. They're Puritan ways. Now, this experiment we just finished here on this nation showed how easily air superiority can command a small nation like Britain. But we learned some valuable tactics that will defend us in the future. He always takes around a defense.
And Baltimore will definitely nod his head at that and goes, a good defense cost me that.
There's
Charge
some things to be learned from our Prussian ancestry. As cavalry, strong strikes. Those are things not to be forgotten. Technology will win the wars of the future. Science.
When he says that, Baltimore will nod and go, "Yes, but science and magic is alchemy. And alchemy in the right hands is very powerful."
I have to repeat, Peg. I'm sorry, after alchemy.
No, you're good. So he goes, "Magic and science is alchemy, and alchemy is in the right hands very powerful, very rewarding. But you must have someone you trust, because absolute power corrupts absolutely."
Yeah, there are a great many men who goes all the way back to the Roman Senate. How you wield that power over others, which will be construed as corruption from other outside sources, outside eyes, certain leverages, alliances, dabblings in the dark have moved power for eons. It's all from a certain point of view. But you will see. Stay with us. Even if you just observe, I think you will see the value in the overall picture. There are a great many wheels turning. No one of us see the overall. I don't know all this bluster in Berlin. There are too many intelligent people stray too far from what is right. It's interesting to see where things may go. But I feel like there are too many checks and balances to keep things from all the other nations. All the other nations of the world have prided themselves on just writing stern letters. Everyone still has the wounds, as everybody reels from their wounds from the Great War. Strongly worded letters are their main defense at the moment. I don't think anybody has the balls to move.
Baltimore responds immediately, says, no, they don't. Great defeats and grave losses of life have cowered them, dulled their edges.
They're like rattling their sabers, posturing, polishing metals. Very few remember the places you and I have been that have elevated us to the stature we are at now. We're above such. Know our place and know that there will always be those who roll in the mud, those who guide them. Perhaps this merging of science and technology and magic will elevate war where people don't get involved. Not on that kind of meat grinding level, where fencing matches and chess can be done in the air, as it were. We shall see. But we offload on the Italian code. So come, Mr. Baltimore. We've just about approached midday. It's about time for a brandy.
Baltimore finishes his cigar and he flicks it and goes, that will definitely be an appropriate chaser.
Precisely. We are not entirely uncivilized. So, all right, you go below decks and have a brandy, and he's called away. You speak German.
Yes.
Thought he did. So you do overhear that there was a message for him from the bishop he needed to attend to. So he takes his leave of you and he goes to attend to that. And probably within 30 minutes, give me a perception roll. Just for giggles. Oh, yeah. It's all right. You notice everybody's scurrying about, battening down hatches, and you hear the call to submerge. Your little liaison buddy guides you back to your quarters, and Cinder says, we've got activity. It's probably best you stay up here for a little bit.
And I nod and thank him and take my seat.
That you don't dive very far. You only really go periscope depth. But it's the first time you've submerged since you've been on board. So something's afoot. And you're kept stationed for, they bring you some lunch, but you're kept stationed till early evening before you see the major again. And he comes to take you to dinner. Sorry for all that. We've been quite busy.
Baltimore goes, oh, no, it's no trouble.
So, but you can tell from some gurgling and things that the ship's resurfaced just slowly. And as you enter into the bridge, you can hear them opening hatches and things and get a little water in from clearing the area. And Baltimore bade you up the ladder. He goes up first.
I've quickly followed.
All right. You find yourself in what looks like some sort of hangar, or it reminds you more of a subway tunnel. There's a little deck on either side, lights in here, and a big archway. It's all painted and polished metal. Give me a perception.
Hold on, you picked a great time. My cat decided to lay on my hand on my mouse.
Sorry.
Yep, she's typing now on my keyboard. Thank you, Cat.
I see.
Pandora making her way in.
You don't notice it, but you feel it. The whole submarine just shudders all of a sudden. Dock. But you can see it looks like these big metal clamps just below the water line have clasped the hull of the submarine. Men scurrying around. Looks like they're adding fuel to the submarine, connecting electricity, this kind of thing, to where it's drawing fuel and power from wherever it is. And you were escorted out onto another vessel. It's like the submarine was swallowed by a larger vessel.
There's always a bigger fish.
So you come out on a little deck. It's just a travel walkway, really. And you see it's early evening. And you're approaching land, and you're led into a fairly posh-looking library where you sit down to you're gonna wind up gaining 10 pounds on this mission. And you have dinner with the captain of this vessel. I don't have either his name or the ship's name. It's irrelevant at the moment. But he reports to the major that they should be docking within 2 hours, hoping to be loaded and back underway by morning.
And Baltimore just, stroking egos.
And the major actually brags on you a little bit to this guy. He says, "Their Baltimore here is a world traveler, educated man, veteran, information, shall we say. He's brought us information regarding the United States and Britain and their blind eyes, confirmed that they know nothing, much as there's nothing for them to see. None of their damn business. So all is as it should be. But their Baltimore is fairly high-born. He can't help be drawn into what it is we're doing. He may be a valuable asset. As far as our mission, this painstaking grading process of this cattle we're doing, I don't think he has much interest in. Maybe even little stomach for it. But the end result is we don't have to deal with it much longer. Then a week, we'll be steaming for more sparkling waters, I think. On the submarine, you were fairly well held down. But after dinner, they just pretty much let your ass go up here. Because from where you are, outside, walking on the deck, you're on a perfectly legit cargo vessel.
Yeah, he'll stand on the deck for a little while, just connecting dots, and we're going over. It's like Italy, Bishop, cattle, gathering things. He's just trying to piece it all together. Where does it all add up? Obviously, they're referring to the magic users in China as cattle. Typical S way of treating these assets. They're not human. They're merely a tool or an animal to transport. So then that gets him thinking: are they being transported on the submarine, or are they being transported on this cargo ship? If they're going to Italy, why Italy? Why Italy of all places with a bishop? So is the Vatican involved? I think he's just going all this as, hey, he's not writing it down, because if he starts writing it down,
Yeah.
he has to be onto him. So he's just trying to mentally connect these dots, and just is like, who's an ally? Who's not an ally? Who's actually neutral? It's like, obviously Spain is a neutral ground where where Germany has free reign to do stuff and get away with it, and where France and England really don't have much of a foothold and can't really investigate unless they were doing what we were doing. Now we got Italy. Obviously, Italy's an ally. If they're taking them to a bishop there. You can't just transport people without being noticed or being called out by a government unless you're allies. So he's just, what in the hell? But he's thinking they have to be on this cargo vessel because there's not enough room on a submarine for that many people if you're referring to them as cattle. So they have to be on this boat. Take them in, drop them off, get your receipt, pat on the back, good job, and go to the next place and collect the next batch. Sparkling waters, that can be anything. That could be the Atlantic Ocean. That could be anywhere outside the Mediterranean. But he's definitely intrigued. He's definitely interested because this is a grave problem. Because if you have people that are gifted in demonology and you have either A, coerced them or made them drink the Kool-Aid, that's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to waste manpower on the front lines when you got demons and spirits to do it for you.
And that's obviously the way of thinking he's trying to push on you. Hello, Logan. He did make it back in. All right. So you sidle into the dock and board and everything. And very shortly, it hadn't even been much more than moored. And trucks start rolling in and running people up the gangway. And you do notice that by and large, there are some other nationalities mixed in, but these are largely Asian. But we're only down to about 3 truckloads of people. Probably only between 30 and 60. So from what you knew to be much, much more. So you already see that the culling has begun. Give me a perception. Nice. All right. You notice this one couple coming up the ramp. It just stares at you intently, almost making you uncomfortable. You just lock gazes with them. Of course, they're being prodded along, and as they pass by, one of them bumps into you, presses something in your hand, and I imagine you just slip it in your pocket.
I do.
And they just bump into you, rub against you, and stick that in your palm. It's small, it's light, you don't know what it is, you just drop it in your pocket. And they keep on going, bowing to the people yelling at them for bumping into you. One of the stewards actually checks on you, says, "You okay? Sorry about that." They don't know their place.
And Baltimore would downplay. It's like, no, it's not your trouble. I'm sure it's just them getting over being on dry land.
Yeah. So they're all being led, snaking down through the ship to the bottom. But like I said, you instantly recognize what you're seeing, and you expected twice as much. So that's a shock in and of itself to begin with. Now those trucks go away, only to be replaced by larger trucks, semi trucks that have more goods on them. These others, first ones were like troop transports. This is, bringing aboard goods, food, these kinds of things. But not a great deal. Probably 2 flatbeds worth is all there is. We're not expecting a months long journey. Now they offer you quarters here on the cargo ship, which would be much more private and spacious than what you're being afforded on the submarine, should you want it.
Yeah, I think you would.
So you actually have a porthole where you see outside and see the weather and everything. The cotton locker that you were afforded on the submarine, simple bunk. This isn't grand by any, it is better than sublife.
Yeah, and I think he would make sure the door's closed, and I think he checked that note that was slipped into his hand.
It's origami. You were given a little paper swan.
He'd hate to do it, but he's going to unfold it.
Yeah. The sitting there says, "Tell our daughter to stop following. We're going to stop this from inside. We got wind of you. It's best to cooperate till we find the end of this, rather than resist and die. We will be in communication.
So he's gonna immediately burn that.
Yeah.
And now a huge puzzle piece has fallen into place. And of course, now he feels guilt because he has no way of contacting the others. So he just,
Yeah, it puts you in a quandary. Do you do what they're doing and see this through to see where this goes? Or do you stop and tell the rest?
that's the thing, is he doesn't really have a way to tell the rest.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the see this through to the end.
Yeah.
That's how he put it to the group. He's going to ride it out to the end, and then when necessary, cut ties and make his way back. Make sure that note was burned and the ashes scattered to the winds, and change his clothes to something more natural to the surrounding environment, and he'll go see what's going on. Join the major for a drive or something. That's kind of how he's going to play it. It's just, oh, nothing's wrong. Nothing's bothering me. What are we doing? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So you guys are back underway before dawn.
Wouldn't have mattered whether you'd pass that note on or not. Sean would be like, the heck they say.
Well, and that's how Baltimore would see it too. There's not really a point in warning y'all. Pandora, you're in a very affectionate mood. She's rubbing all over the monitor and the mouse.
This is mine, and this is mine, and this is mine. Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah, just sit there. Yeah, there you go. Back to the monitor. Yep, scratch that chin. Really, I think she just likes being on the camera. I think she's self-aware.
Sorry about that. Oh, she's just like you. She's trying to get word to the outside. Day 514 of captivity.
Send catnip to these coordinates.
Yeah.
Sierra, Bravo.
All right. Let's switch to the other team for just a minute. All right, the truck you guys have been riding in for all day. You finally roll into the port. And the trucks sitting parked, abandoned, all parked neatly in a row. And give me a perception roll just for giggles. Let's see if I can find Laura's sheet. Oh, that's a good one. All right, let's see. All right. There's a fairly large steamer pulling out. In the setting sun, you can see it all lit up orange on the horizon. And Laura goes to the port master to try to find a load of product from Gibraltar. It's on its way to Italy. Left an hour ago.
Okay, so there it is.
While she's gone to the dock master, Matt, give me another perception roll just for giggles. Yeah, that's a good one. You notice something sparkling over in the grass off to near where the trucks are.
Okay, go check it out, assuming it isn't explosive or anything.
No, it's just doesn't match here. You get a little glint of light, like somebody trying to get your attention. Like something moving in the shiny, moving in the grass. And you get
Okay.
over there to it, and right by the tire of one of those troop transports, trying to be seen and not to be seen at the same time, to Faye.
Yeah, like from back in Britain, yeah.
Two little fairies, a male and a female. The female's waving at you broadly, and the male is ducked around, peeking around the tire.
So what do you two have to say?
Now, what they have that is shiny is it's probably smaller than this, but it's a very shiny little rock. Not quite this big, probably less than maybe half a bar of soap, maybe hotel soap.
Right.
And it's an
So
jade, but it's a little jade oblong oval looking polished stone with some runes cut in it.
Okay.
They're not any that
So-
you recognize. They're Celtic Norse kind of rune than a Asian character would be. But the material looks Asian. It looks like jade. It's very similar to the stone that's in your bracelet.
Thank them, and then go find Fritz and see if Fritz can make heads or
Yeah, there you
tails of these runes.
So I'll let you investigate it there, Fritz.
Yeah, I'm looking to see I'll just throw a occultism roll out there. Looking for there we go, symbol drawing.
The female Fae tells Sean before she runs away, a little gift as promised. You're hard to catch. And the male's like, and you wanted me to help carry it for this? All right, with those rolls, you're able to determine, you recognize it almost immediately. It's a communication stone. You're just not exactly sure how to use it. There has to be another one somewhere for somebody else to use. But you think that probably the best thing to do is hang on to it and see if it activates.
Sounds
All right, presented with that information, what does Sean do with it? So presented with that information, what does Sean do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know if you heard me or not. I couldn't. With my issues, I'm not sure.
It resembles the stone in the bracelet. Are there any indications that that stone might be another part of this communications thing?
No, it's,
Just jade. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was done more on purpose to be a more familiar stone to you. The fact it has ancient European runes in it makes it even more confusing.
Not necessarily. I think we know who we're talking to here. Let me find some. Yeah. She'll try to talk to it. That's the obvious thing.
And it doesn't do anything.
Okay. I'm reminded of Scotty. Computer.
Yeah,
Hello,
precisely.
computer.
That's precisely what you get. You sit there, you're
I'm
holding
talking into the mouse. So
Oh.
that's right.
Yeah.
So well, she didn't know what to do with it. She doesn't have any skills to determine what to do with it. So
Right.
Yeah, she will.
What attunement she does have. It does, I mean, even as foreign as it is, as concerning a device as it may be, it's next level shit you didn't. This may be a link to somebody.
Given that, oh yeah, I'm sure. Just get to the chase. I'm sure it's that lady back in London that you spoke with. That so that's what this is all about. Glance over, those Fae still around, or they've gone back to where Fae go? Are those Fae still hiding over there, or are they wandered off?
They ran off fairly quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
They're a little close to civilization for them.
Hold on to it.
Yeah.
That would be the thing.
All right.
What we have to do is catch up with that steamer.
And that's evidently what we need to figure out at this point. There'll be a little bit more investigation to find out its final death. That's about as far as I intended on us getting tonight.
So you pulled a James Bond on us.
Okay.
No, this is a James Bond thing. You're in the submarine, then you come up into the mothership.
Oh yeah,
And
exactly.
That's how James Bond plays out. I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
Because
in this case, it's I expect you to die, Mr. Baltimore.
yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
Baltimore.
Mr. Baltimore, I expect you to die. No,
There
that's
you go.
coming. That's when the bishop gets a hold of it.
Yep.
I'm waiting on that.
Okay, there we go.
Because
We have
even the major don't want to mess with it. You know, I'll give that to Baltimore right off the bat because you can tell that he's intimidated by the bishop.
Baltimore would just be
Anyway.
like, blowed up your skirt. Baltimore with the bishop be like, blowed up your cassock.
Yeah.
Pull off his eye patch and stare into this.
Tears again. Get my Tim Curry cardinal on.
Was that going to be your next backdrop there?
Yeah, Tim Curry and the Three Musketeers.
I hold the moon and the stars in the folds of my robe. I've heard it all. Yeah. I want them dead or alive. That was one of his best characters, by the way. So anyway, that's what I had for tonight. There was a lot of old bleep in it. You're starting to see where this is leading.
Mm-hmm.
They're culling out your more mundane nature magic people, and the people who actually have true occult powers are the ones that are more sought after.
Supreme executive power.
Yeah.
For a man of God, you sure are a son of a bitch.
All right, good deal. Thank you, see.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Good show. Good show.
I see you survived hosting at House Peg.
Yes, I did. At Chateau de Peg.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, you take care, and I guess we'll catch the rest of you next time as well.
All right. Well, be well, Doc. Get you
All
some
right.
more rest until you're fading too.
Yeah,
I got
oh,
you.
such is life.
Right on.
All right, take care, guys.
All right. We'll see you soon. Take it easy.
Night.
Night, night.